Hi boys and girls, I'm going to be reading part of our Judy Blume double fudge that we didn't get to finish. I'll be reading for about 15 minutes today, and then you can watch it whenever you want to. And then I'll just keep reading it and posting it so that we all get to see how the book ends, and maybe I'll pause so you can make some predictions along the way, tell me your thoughts. But I'm just excited to actually get the chance to finish with you guys. So for those of you that don't remember what happened so far, remember we have Fudge and his big brother, and they are in school, and his older brother's best friend just moved away. So then he's really excited for school to start because then he gets to see them again. But the little brother Fudge, remember he's in this class that's called Mixed Up Kids or something like that, where we were like, what does that mean? So we're slowly starting to learn about what Fudge's class is like, because Fudge is also very thoughtful. Remember, he likes to think about money and all of these things, but his new friend from school is rude because his name is Richie Rich. So then he, so Richie Rich just is rich, and he's making Fudge's family feel bad about things, so let's see what we discover next. Oh yeah, and don't forget little baby, the baby sister, and she can't say things correctly, so we get to hear about all the things she says sometimes. Okay, finally, I got to Jimmy's. The streets in Soho are narrow and paved with cobblestone. It's a really old part of the city. The buildings used to be factories, but now most of them have stores or art galleries on the first floor and lofts upstairs. Dad said he'd be back for me in an hour and a half. I told him to take his time. The Fargo's loft is a huge open space with an old wooden floor and a pressed tin ceiling. Pretty cool, huh? Jimmy asked. You know how many windows we have? 16. Want to count them? I believe you, I said. They were gigantic floor-to-ceiling windows. Know how high the ceiling is? Jimmy asked. He didn't wait for me to guess. 16 feet. Want to measure it yourself? That's okay. I can see it's really high. I looked around. You could set up a bowling alley in here, I told him. Yeah, Jimmy said. Or a basketball court. You could blade. Or flood it and play ice hockey, Jimmy said. Ice hockey? Gotcha, he said, laughing and sticking a finger in my gut. I hate when you do that, I told him. I know, that's why I do it. Come on, I'll show you around. There wasn't much to see. Frank Fargo's canvases were stacked against one wall. There were 2 paint-splattered work tables. Old coffee cans held brushes. It smelled good, like the art room at school. There was no regular furniture, but that was no surprise, since they didn't have any before either. At the opposite end of the loft was a kitchen. There were no doors anywhere except for the bathroom. And right about here, Jimmy said, standing in front of an X that had been chalked on the floor, we're going to build 2 bedrooms, one for me and the other for my dad. And he stopped for a minute to look out the window. Then he looked back at the floor. Oh yeah, and we're adding another bathroom so we don't have to share. I wouldn't mind having a bathroom all to myself instead of sharing with Fudge and Tootsie. Tootsie's the little sister, remember? At least Fudge uses the toilet. Not that he remembers to flush half the time. But it's better than a potty. Not that Tootsie actually uses her potty for anything except a place to sit. But someday she will, and then... And I'm getting a bunk bed, Jimmy said, so you can stay over. We might get a dog, too. A dog? I was surprised. Mr. Fargo's never really liked Turtle, and Turtle isn't crazy about Mr. Fargo either. What kind of dog? A Yorkie, I think. A Yorkie? But they're so small. I know. I tried to imagine Jimmy and his father with a Yorkie, but I couldn't. So how about a game of sock hockey? Jimmy asked. Sock hockey's a game we invented. Yeah, sure, I told him, kicking off my shoes. Jimmy passed me a broom, grabbed another for himself, threw down a box of Jell-O for the puck, and the game began. We've never had such a great place to play. You could run and slide from one end to the loft to the other without worrying about knocking over lamps or furniture, not just because there weren't any, but because the place was so big. We were totally into our game when we heard banging on the door. Uh-oh. Jimmy said. He wiped his sweaty face with the bottom of his t-shirt and went to the door. Who is it? He called. This is Goran, your downstairs neighbor. He spoke slowly in an accent I couldn't understand. Oh, so maybe it sounded like, this is Goran, your downstairs neighbor. Don't open it, I whispered. But Goran is our downstairs neighbor, Jimmy said. I met him this morning. I shook my head. Don't unlock the door. My dad will be back in a few minutes, Jimmy called out through the locked door. Actually, he had no idea when Frank Fargo would be home. So what's going on? Goran asked from the other side of the door. All that pounding. It sounds like the ceiling's going to cave in. How am I supposed to concentrate? Sorry, Jimmy said. We were just, moving stuff around. I called, finishing for him. Oh, Goran said. I thought maybe you were playing sock hockey. Jimmy and I looked at each other. If we invented the game, how could this guy possibly know about it? We'll try to be more careful with our, cartons, Jimmy told him. Fair enough, Goran said, and I'll try to get back to work. When he was gone, Jimmy let out a whew, and we put away the brooms. By the time we got back from Soho, Mom was home. How was your day? She asked. Very nice, Dad told her. We had a good time, didn't we, boys? I had fun at Jimmy's, I said. And I had fun on the subway, Fudge told her. So did Tootsie. I guess that makes it unanimous, Mom said, because I had a good day at work. Yeah, it's unanimous, Fudge sang. That's when Mom looked down and noticed that Fudge was wearing one shoe and one fringed and beaded moccasin. Where did you get that moccasin? She asked. From the store, Fudge said. The man took it out of the window. It was a real bargain, right, Dad? Dad nodded. But where's your other shoe, Fudgy? Mom said. Fudge didn't answer. Dad put his arm around Mom's shoulder. It's a long story, honey. Really long, Fudge added, laughing. The next day, when the transit police still hadn't found the missing shoe, Mom went back to Harry's, this time without Fudge. She bought another pair of shoes, the exact same ones he got the first time. So in case Fudge grows a third foot, he'll be all set. And with my brother, nothing is impossible. Do you think he's really going to grow a third foot? I don't either. Now we have Mr. Money. Instead of taking picture books to bed the way he used to, Fudge is thumbing through catalogs. He's choosing presents for Christmas and birthdays. He's working so far ahead, he's already circled what he wants when he's 12. And he's nowhere near 12. I think he's in like kindergarten or first grade. Underwater watches, home entertainment systems with huge TV screens, digital cameras, telescopes, so powerful you can see Venus. A water trampoline bigger than his room and mine put together. What are some things that you guys circle for Christmas? You can talk about it, write it down. I'll pause for a moment. Are you okay, Asher? Puppy's yawning. Okay, I'm going to continue. Look at this, Pete, he said one night. It was a rope bridge 40 feet long. It cost thousands of dollars. That'd be useful, I told him. I know, he said. Uncle Feather would really like it. Lucky for us, Fudge doesn't know how to go online. The first time Fudge went to Richie Potter's for a play date, he came home full of ideas. We need a bigger apartment. A bigger apartment would be nice, Mom said, but we're very lucky to have what we do. But Mom, I need 2 rooms. One for me and one for my toys, Fudge said. If you and Dad slept in the living room, I could sleep in your room and keep my toys in my room. Keep dreaming, Fudge, I said. I'm not dreaming, Pete. I'm wide awake. Later, he came to my room. I was instant messaging with Jimmy Fargo when I was supposed to be making a journal entry for humanities. I'd be in big trouble if Mom and Dad knew. The computer goes back in the living room if I don't keep up my grades. The problem with our family is, Fudge said, we don't have enough money. We need to get more, and fast. Cheer up, I said. Maybe we'll win the lottery. His eyes lit up. The lottery. That's it. But when he told Dad his brilliant idea, Dad said, buying lottery tickets is just a way to waste money. No, Fudge argued. It's a way to get rich. Fudge, Mom said. We're happy the way we are. We're grateful for all the things we have, like each other and our health, and that's you, Fudge said. Not me. This is getting out of hand, Mom said to Dad. I'm inclined to agree, Dad said. By the 3rd week of school, Fudge had homework. I don't ever remember having homework in kindergarten or even 1st grade. So Fudge is in kindergarten. He was working on the floor in front of the TV while Mom and Dad watched the evening news. Let me see that, I said, grabbing his paper. Fill in the blanks. I really like... Blank is good. Blank is fun. I dream about... What? I like to read about... Fill it in. I like to draw... A good name for me is... How's he supposed to fill in the blanks when he can't even write? I asked my parents. I can write, Fudge said. Yeah, 3 words. I don't need more than that, he told me, grabbing back his paper. He whipped right through it, saying, this is so easy. Then he proudly handed his paper back to me. Fill in the blanks. Here's how Fudge answered the questions. I really like money. Money is good. Money is fun. I dream about money. I like to read about money. I like to draw money. A good name for me is Mr. Money. 2 days later, Fudge was sent to the school counselor to be evaluated. It was so fun, he told us that night. We played games and drew pictures. Guess what I drew? He didn't wait for us to guess. Money, money, money. And I made dollar signs with wings, lots and lots of them. Money, Tootsie sang. Mom and Dad got a call from the school counselor who asked to meet with them. They went on Wednesday afternoon. Grandma babysat for Tootsie. When they got back, Mom was really upset. Do you know what the counselor asked us? Mom said to Grandma, she asked if we're having a problem at home, if we've lost our jobs or need financial help. It was so embarrassing. Grandma made Mom a cup of tea. You can't take it personally, Ann, Grandma said. She's just doing her job. That's not all, Mom continued. She suggested that instead of buying things for our children, we could stress all the good things in life that are free. As if we don't, Mom choked up. I just don't know what to do about this. It'll pass, honey, Grandma said. What if it doesn't? Mom asked. Let's not worry about that before we have to, Grandma said. That night, when Mom came to my room to say goodnight, she sat on the edge of my bed. Peter, I've been wondering, have Dad and I taught you that the best things in life are free? Like good health and love and friendship. That's what we stress in our family, isn't it? Yeah, Mom, sure. And you understand that no matter how much money you have, you aren't necessarily happy. You know that, don't you, Peter? Sure, Mom, I know that. It's like no matter how much money Jimmy might have, he can't make his parents get back together. He can't even make them like each other. Mom got teary-eyed. But just so you know, Mom, I don't think about that stuff every day. Don't think about what? It's not like I get up in the morning and say to myself, wow, the best things in life are free. What do you think about? First thing in the morning, you mean? Mom nodded. I don't know. Usually I wish I could sleep later, or I wonder if I studied enough for the Spanish test, or I think about the Mets or the Knicks or the Rangers, depending on the season. But you don't get up in the morning and think about money, do you? No, Mom. I mean, maybe if we were seriously deprived and we didn't have enough to eat, but then I guess I'd wake up thinking about food, not money. Just so long as money isn't number 1 in your thoughts, Mom said, or even number 20. Probably if I made a list, it wouldn't be, I told her. Thank you, Peter. That makes me feel much better. And now we're going to stop there because we are on chapter 7. So the next video that I post, I'll start on chapter 7. I hope that you guys like it, and I hope that you are having a great week.